Sonic the Hedgehog skins are coming to Fortnite, but before we all get excited about that and start giving Epic Games our hard-earned cash, how did this come to be? How did we even get to this point? Well, from some leaks and survey questions dating all the way back to 2023, here is everything that's ever happened related to Sonic the Hedgehog in Fortnite. Just so you're all caught up and know how we got to where we are today. Now, despite the fact that I don't even play Fortnite all too often, Sonic the Hedgehog is a collaboration I have always wanted to see Fortnite tackle. So with SpongeBob, but we got that! So in October 2023, when news started circulating that Sonic the Hedgehog was mentioned in a Fortnite survey, myself and a lot of others were hyped. Now in the survey image I have, it seems that Sonic wasn't mentioned under video games and he was instead mentioned under films and TV. Most likely meaning that the Sonic movies instead of the Sonic games were being questioned at this point. Or perhaps they're confused, I don't know, but some Sonic movie skins with the stuff we've seen Paramount add into the game recently isn't crazy, I'm just saying. Now explaining the surveys a little bit more, this seemed to be a thing that Epic Games did as a way to see what their community wanted. Some players would be sent a survey with questions along the lines of, how would you like to see us tackle this character, or who do you want to see in the game? And then those answers could help them gather which companies they should spend their time trying to reach out to and see if they could make it into the game, or basically in layman's terms, which one would make them the most money? And then a few months later in 2023 December, there was yet another survey sent out to Fortnite players asking what characters they'd like to see added to the game, and surprisingly Sonic the Hedgehog was not there. But instead, they asked about Shadow the Hedgehog, the coolest character in the Sonic universe. Now, this is pretty interesting to me that we first saw Sonic and then a few months later saw mention of Shadow and only Shadow. This made me feel pretty confident that talks were somehow underway and that Epic wanted to wager how many skins they'd need in-game. Whether Sonic himself would be enough to satiate the hunger of Sonic fans, or if they should make a few more characters just to be safe. And of course, if Shadow does get a Fortnite skin, you know I'm never taking that off. Come on, that'd be so cool. And now a little bit later, yet another survey was sent out to Fortnite players on May 2024, in which we saw the first mention of a Sonic the Hedgehog game and not just a character or a film. And that one being Sonic Frontiers. So at this point in time, the surveys have asked us about the Sonic movies, Shadow the Hedgehog, just as his own separate entity, his own thing, and now Sonic Frontiers. So with 3 Sonic mentions all in different ways in the last 3 surveys, it was looking pretty damn likely that Sonic was going to be added to the game eventually. They were probably just working on it, I imagine. And then, in the craziest turn of events I've ever seen and stuff that no one saw coming, Sonic was mentioned again in the December 2024 survey. But it wasn't with the movies, it wasn't with the games, and it wasn't just Shadow the Hedgehog on his own, but it was instead with Super Mario. As listed in the video game characters/series section, Sonic was mentioned for the 4th time under the game Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020. Now, I do not know what was going on at Epic Games at this point of time. Maybe their contacts with Sega gave them hope that they now had access to Nintendo, but considering how child-friendly Mario is and how strict Nintendo are with their IPs, I highly doubt Mario would ever appear in any way in a game like Fortnite, but you can't disrespect the fact that they did try. And then, in a crazy turn of events that absolutely no one saw coming, Sonic was mentioned again in an April 2025 survey. I promise you this is the last survey. I mean, he's mentioned again, it's nothing big, it's nothing huge, but in September of 2025 we got the news that we had been waiting years to hear, that Sonic the Hedgehog X Fortnite was officially in the works and that we could expect to see the collaboration soon. Sonic fans all over the globe rejoiced. It was a beautiful moment in time knowing that we would soon see the Blue Blur wielding a scar and cranky 90s alongside characters like Iron Man and Rick Sanchez. It was a wonderful time to be a Sonic fan, but a little bit later into the month, disaster struck. When leakers looked a little bit more into the next update's files and found the devastating information, there was no skins. The collaboration was set to be the upcoming Puma and Sonic collaboration as kicks, and some car skins for Sonic, Knuckles, and Super Sonic. Now first off, I cannot even begin to describe how big of a fumble this collaboration was. It felt like they were scared of asking Sega for any more. First off, you pick arguably one of the biggest video game characters of all time to join your game, and when being told you can only do kicks, you don't decide to do the character's iconic red shoes, the ones that people do not even like Sonic know they're Sonic's. But no, you decide to do shoes that have like his face on them, and that's about it. What are you doing? And then secondly, you decide to do a couple car skins and don't even include Tails, Sonic, Knuckles, and then Sonic again? What is happening at Epic Games? What are you guys doing? Now, being more real, I believe that the car decals were made more for Rocket League than they were for Fortnite. But since Fortnite and Rocket League have that weird deal thing where stuff a bit, I don't know what it actually is, but they've got a deal. They also got the car decals as well, and some random shoes were thrown in to make it look like it was a cool Sonic Fortnite collab at the same time. It still sucked though. Now this is where the timeline gets kind of messy. I couldn't find any concrete evidence saying this, so you will just have to take my word for it. But reportedly Sega and Epic were in discussion about adding Sonic the Hedgehog and some other characters as Fortnite skins, but the reason it wasn't happening was because Sega didn't want to change Sonic's size. And if you've ever seen Sonic the Hedgehog before, You could easily tell that that dude is not fitting Fortnite's hitboxes without a little bit of change. Epic was supposedly telling Sega this, but like a spoiled brat who dropped their stupid lollipop on the floor, Sega were not budging and just did not want to change the size, which is so stupid. Look at these concepts. It works. It looks completely fine. Why do you always have to make dumb decisions, Sega? Why? But then, in January of 2026, a new leaker enters the scene. Adira FN Info is leaking Fortnite collaborations left, right, and center. He leaked things like Regular Show and The Office and was quickly becoming a big name in the leaking scene. Everything they said seemed to somehow happen. It was like he had the Midas touch of Fortnite. Did you get it? Midas Fortnite? So on the 20th of January 2026, Adira FN Info tweets out about a Sonic the Hedgehog Fortnite crossover. This means it is happening. His post reads, Sonic X Fortnite. A full collab with Sonic is in development and will come to Fortnite. The collab will likely be skins and not pets. And this pretty much set in stone that we were getting skins of Sonic the Hedgehog in Fortnite, but we still didn't know for sure if this dude had the luckiest predictions in the world or if he was legit. Until in February 2026, when Epic Games themselves put out a tweet reading, today we took legal action against a former contractor who repeatedly leaked confidential partner IP and trade secrets that they received while working with Epic. We absolutely do not allow this and will continue to take action when Epic team members share confidential info. It harms our partners and makes it harder to bring awesome IP to our games. Here's the court filing. And when looking into the court filing, who was it that they were suing? Adira FN Info. The same dude who a month prior stated that Sonic skins were coming to Fortnite was working as a contractor for Epic Games, confirming that when that tweet was posted, Sonic the Hedgehog was coming to Fortnite. Now, as of this moment, that is all we know. We don't know if the skins are still coming or if Sega got spooked from the leaks and dipped from the deal. In my personal opinion, I believe the collab is still happening and we will most likely hear more around about June for the 35th anniversary. Possibly teased or mentioned or even revealed at something like a Sonic Central. That would be pretty nice. We need to have Shadow holding a damn gun again. Do it, Sega. Stop being a coward and make some smart decisions for once. But until then, we're just gonna have to wait. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below about Sonic the Hedgehog and Fortnite and all of the saga that we've had so far. But make sure to like and subscribe as I'm the #1 Sonic and Fortnite dude there is. Proven fact, by the way, that is a proven one, and I will see you in a bit. Goodbye!